Welcome to the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. You can catch us Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on FS1. Here's what this podcast is all about. It's an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the day's show, and there is a lot to get into in today's podcast. Skip says on a scale of 1 to 10, he gives his Cowboys an 8 to make it to the Super Bowl. Shannon defends LeBron as a top 5 all-time player and declares he'll have 2 more titles. Nelly drops by to break down World Series Game 6 tonight and says he knows the Cubs are going to blow it. FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard joins us to predict the numbers we can expect from Russell Westbrook this season. Black today, I see, Skip?
I see you wearing black. You know what that means?
No, I do not. Oh, wait, so I'm wearing black to my own funeral.
Yeah.
You wear black to my funeral. Wait,
Maybe he's wearing
you
black
keep
for
telling me
your
you're wearing
funeral.
black to my funeral, yet I keep coming back every day. How do you explain?
With the Monday night loss last night, the Vikings stepped back to 5-2. So, Skip, now your Cowboys sit alone at the top of the NFC with 6-1.
Yeah.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what shot do you give the Cowboys of winning the NFC and going to the Super Bowl?
You can tell my friend Morris Chestnut, wherever he might be right now, that on a scale of 1 to 10, I give my Dallas Cowboys, Morris, an 8 to make it all the way to the Super Bowl.
An 8.
A prediction that sounded outlandish when we made that movie theater commercial Morris and I made before the year started, and I said the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. 8 on a scale of 10. Now, I have one asterisk that I have to throw in, one caveat, and that is if Jerry doesn't screw up the quarterback situation. But if the stars stay healthy, the stars, now we got a couple of near stars in Morris Claiborne and Barry Church who are going to be out for a while, maybe Morris Claiborne for the rest of the year, and that's a pretty big loss, actually. But if the superstar players, the skill players stay healthy, I see my Cowboys finishing 12-4, which would mean they would finish out the year 6-3. And I think, by my standards, I'm being overly objective and maybe even overly conservative with 6-3 down the stretch. Mm-hmm. But you have criticized me before in this show for excluding the Minnesota Vikings from our NFC contender discussions. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, I just don't believe. I didn't believe before last night. I didn't believe before they got waxed at Philadelphia. I'm sorry, you got Sam Bradford, who can be Sam Badford behind a shaky offensive line with little to no running game, and one good receiver and mediocre other receivers. And that,
but you did believe Minnesota was a playoff team, just not a serious contender.
No, not a serious contender, because you would get on me. You're not putting him at the top of the list in the discussion? Mm-hmm. Nope, I'm not. I do respect what Matt Ryan is doing in Atlanta, but I do not respect what his defense is unable to do.
Right.
So I'm going to push them to the side. That leaves me with the team that you picked to go to the Super Bowl, the Seattle Seahawks. Do they have issues in their offensive line? Are they having a hard time protecting Russell Wilson, who's a beat-up quarterback? You got it. Do I think their defense is playing at quite as high a level as I've seen it play in the past? I don't. But I still fear the Seattle Seahawks. I think it's going to come down to Dallas and Seattle. That was my prediction in the NFC Championship game. And it just depends on where will it be played, up in Seattle or at Jerry World. And I'm going to say 12-4 gets it to Jerry World because I've got the Seahawks finishing 11-4. Remember, they got their tie now and 1. 11-4-1. The Seahawks do. But I need them to lose 2 games down the stretch. One at Tom Brady, and the other, you ready for this?
Yeah.
At Aaron Rodgers. Aaron, I need you on December 11th. I need you to come through for me and beat the Seahawks to give my Cowboys home field playoff advantage over the Seahawks. That's what I think is going to happen. I have Dallas over Seattle in the NFC Championship game to get Morris Chestnut to the Super Bowl. Thank you.
Now you're asking Aaron Rodgers for
I am, for a big favor, because we're buds. We're friends.
Joy.
Hey, have I not been on the bandwagon all these years, Aaron? Come on, you got to pay me back for all that support.
You're asking
Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Bleeping
yes,
Rodgers. Aaron Bleeping Rodgers. I need a big favor on December 11th at Lambeau. He can do it at Lambeau.
Skip, look, if you didn't know better, I have the same thing. What kind of chance you give the Cowboys the NFC? I said they're 4-5. But if Jerry were to come out and name that...
4-5 means what?
I give him a 4 or a 5 to get
4
there.
or 5 to get there. Okay,
right.
I got it.
But if Jerry were to come out and says Dak Prescott is the Dallas Cowboys starter, I'll move that up to 7.5.
Whew. Okay.
That's what I would be willing
You know
to
what?
do.
I like that. I buy that.
Right now, I think they would have to be the favorite. I think Atlanta would pose a bigger problem than you think because I think Atlanta's offense is dynamic because they can run the football. It just depends on how soon Coleman's going to get back from that hamstring. Devontae Freeman has done a great job running the football. Julio Jones, Matt Ryan. I like because Matt Ryan is a veteran quarterback and they have big play potential on that side of the football. My concerns are also like yours. How well can their front hold up against that Cowboys rushing attack? That would concern me. And again, it's probably going to be played in Jerry World because Atlanta's already lost 3 games. We were talking about Minnesota, and everybody was telling me, look at Adrian Peterson. He had done nothing the first 2 games. They'll be just fine without Adrian Peterson. I'm like, oh, really? They're fine without Adrian Peterson? I mean, averaging 3 yards a carry. 2.6 yards per carry. They got 54 last night. Now they're the 31st ranked rush attack. Only the Giants are worse. And Sam Bradford. I told you he's like a banquet chair. He'll fold. Hey, you know how banquet chairs at the end of the night when the party's over, they fold them up? That's what he'll do. You saw that.
Especially if you give him little to no protection. He just folds.
Skip, let me ask you a question. In your 40 years, how many times you seen even a good quarterback move 3 teams in 2 years? How many times you ever seen that in your 40-year career? That's what happened.
3 teams.
3 teams.
I've seen 2 teams a lot.
3
not
teams
3
in 2 years.
Yep.
That's what Sam Bradford is. And if you looked at it, I thought he saw a ghost last night because my eyes got bigger and bigger. And that rush started coming. It's like.
But Pernell McPhee, look, he's scary.
First of all, his offensive line, they're not very good.
Nope.
And he's the guy, he can't stand down in the face of adversity. When that he's coming down the gun barrel, he's trying to turn and run away. And here's the problem that they're having now. Their defense, this is how they win. If they give up more than 17, they lose. They give up less than 17, they win.
Yep.
So think about that. You're asking Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford got to get them at least 18 points.
Yep.
In the last 2 games, he can't do that.
That's true.
And they don't have an offense that can come from behind. So if they give up a cheap touchdown defensively or special teams wise, like they did get against the Eagles a couple of weeks back, the kick return, it's over. Sam Bradford is not going to bring you back. So they're done. And I said their playoff team, they're not serious contenders. You can't be a serious contender with that guy at your quarterback. So let's move them to
And
the
by
side.
the way, their defense it gave up 400-plus yards to the Bears last night. It's Jay Cutler and it's the kid from Indiana. I don't know.
Skip,
that's not a good sign.
No matter how great your defense is, you'll have 2 or 3 of those games during the Ravens. They gave up 30. They gave up 36 points week 2 to Jacksonville. They gave up another 28 to the Jets. You're going to have a couple of those games, and now you're going to need your offense. The one week or the 2 weeks that your defense can't carry you like they normally do, can you step up? We were able to step up in 2000 because we scored 39, they scored 36. I think we scored 35, they scored 38. But if a team gets a lead on them, and Bradford just has to throw because there's no threat of the running game. See, we knew with Adrian Peterson, I don't care how he looked early on, that was still Adrian Peterson.
28.
And
See
you
28, fear 28.
Absolutely.
No,
and you still had to pay him the ultimate respect. He's not there. Sam Bradford having to throw the ball. So now, because you're going to ask him to throw the ball between 35 and 40 times, that's not the recipe for a good dish to be made in Minnesota. He needs to be somewhere around the 25 mark. But when you're getting 1 yard a carry, you get 2 yards a carry, you're behind the stick. So now you're 3rd and 8.
Okay, so
I like Seattle. But what Seattle concerns me is Russell Wilson's that knee. He's not the same guy. The guy's gone 3 games without throwing a touchdown, Skip. So what am I supposed to make of that?
So are you going to pick
nobody
to win the NFC? Nobody's going to win it. It's
Dirty Birds. Dirty Birds.
You're going Dirty Birds? Out of nowhere?
Yep.
What?
Because I know Jerry's going to mess it up. I'm counting on Jerry to do what Jerry does. How can you jettison your 3rd son, Tony Romo Jones? How do you do that in good conscience? You can't do that.
Unless Dak wins out.
Hey. Hold on, but then he couldn't be a 12-4 if he won out.
Well, I said I was being.
Because you know what's going to happen. What's going to happen?
Overly objective and conservative. That's what I said.
What's the first thing? Let's just say, for the sake of debating, argument's so harsh. I mean, it seems like we're adversarial.
I like arguing. Go ahead.
For the sake of debating, let's just say Dak Prescott comes in one Sunday, they lose, but he turns the ball, he throws 2 picks,
You know what's going to happen. Yeah, you know what's going to happen. Tony
What's
Romo.
going to happen, Skip? I don't know. I mean, you know the Cowboys. I mean, you've written 3 books. You lived there for 60. I only passed through Dallas. You know how the Cowboys, so what are they going to do?
So you live in Atlanta, so now you're bullish on the Falcons so that you can go home, right?
No,
Yes.
I'm an LA resident now. I live in LA. I live in LA.
I think you go back and forth. I think
The weather, oh man, the palm trees, Skip,
right.
the beaches.
Yeah.
I be walking down Venice Beach.
You always complain about the weather out here.
Yeah, wait, Peachtree, Buckhead.
Yep.
Yeah. You're not
My
gonna give
neighbor,
it up.
Matt, how am I going to ever be able to go back to my neighborhood and say hello to Matt and Sarah Ryan if I were to pick the Cowboys?
That's what I thought.
How could I do that?
That's what just happened right here.
My old position coach
his
is now
hometown team.
Richard Smith, my former special teams coach, is the defensive coordinator.
Yep.
Come on, Skip, I got ties to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So you're just being a homer?
A little bit.
Should we send Aaron Rodgers a gift basket?
Yes, we better.
So
I
we
should
can
send
lock
it
that
to
up.
him.
What do we put in there? Scotch? Maybe one of those sweaters?
Yeah, that's
I
a
promise
good one.
you know what's going to happen. Aaron Rodgers is going to light Seattle up. He's going to throw about 5 TDs on.
Better. I'm counting on you, big boy.
No mercy. Doc Rivers talked about LeBron James' legacy and said LeBron is without a doubt one of the top 5 players ever. Doc added LeBron has a different game. We're so used to seeing skill looking graceful. We're not used to seeing skill look so powerful. I think that rubs people wrong. But LeBron, statistically, championship-wise, he's one of the top 5 players to ever play the game. Skip?
Joy.
Is Doc right?
First of all.
LeBron James.
Yeah, just stop it.
What's that? What is that, Skip?
Huh?
That big old C?
Oh,
that big old diamond?
I thought you meant his hairline receding. I didn't know what
Skip,
it was.
don't do that, Skip.
Oh,
Skip,
well, you're
don't do that,
pointing.
Skip.
That's what you're pointing to.
You know I was not talking about that man hairline,
Okay.
Skip.
Well, I
Stop.
thought that you said, what is that? I said it's a receding hairline.
That big old, stop it, Skip.
Well, I was just being honest. Okay, back to Doc's question.
Oh.
Do I believe that Doc really believes LeBron's a top 5 player? I don't know, but I don't. This is what I believe.
You calling Doc a liar?
No, I'm saying Doc believes that he has a good chance, he and his team, of playing LeBron James in the next NBA Finals. So Doc clearly, obviously, is going to deify LeBron publicly and say, oh, yeah, he's a top 5 and all the quotes. They're great quotes, and Doc's great with that. I'm just not sure I'm buying into it. But let's accept him at face value.
Face value.
All right? And let's say I'm looking at the top 5, and I say there's no way that LeBron James belongs above. I'll just throw out 5 players to you. Michael Jordan, enough said. Magic Johnson, enough said. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 6 rings and 6 MVPs. I think we'll let that rest. Bill Russell, 11 rings in 12 tries. That's pretty great. And then my man Tim Duncan, 5 rings with only 1 finals loss to a man who just announced his official retirement, Ray Allen, who saved LeBron's legacy by hitting the greatest clutch shot I've ever seen.
Stop it, Skip. Get to the topic. LeBron,
Okay, but
top 5. Don't mention Ray Allen.
All right, but I'm just saying, it took that shot to cost Tim Duncan. They had won the game. It was over. Tim Duncan was going to go 6 for 6 in the finals without that 1 shot from Ray Allen.
What about the 2 shots that Curry and Paxson hit for Jordan?
Okay, but again, 6 rings.
You see what he did, Joey? You see what he did? Go ahead.
Okay,
I'm
you know what?
going to interrupt you.
You know
Go
what?
ahead.
Michael Jordan pulled him aside in the huddle and said, you're going to hit this shot. I'm going to give you the ball because they're going to double me on the last possession. So, again, that's all from Michael Jordan. And by the way, I think Shaquille O'Neal, at his most dominating, he's real close to my top 5, and I think he's a more dominating player, or was a more dominating player than LeBron James is. And I'm going to throw this out. If we're just talking about in a vacuum, if I could start a team with either a 22-year-old LeBron James or a 22-year-old Larry Bird, I'm taking Larry Bird. He's almost as good, or was almost as good a passer as LeBron, much better rebounder than LeBron, a far, far better shooter than LeBron, certainly a better free throw shooter than LeBron, a much better clutch shooter, certainly from distance, than LeBron James, and just a better leader and winner to me than LeBron James. So I'll even throw Larry Bird above LeBron James on my rankings. And then we get to this. And because this comes up, I have no choice. I'm sorry. I apologize for bringing all this up.
No, you don't. You're not apologizing, but go ahead. Bring it up
But
anyway.
all I ever hear is what LeBron can do. He can stuff the stat sheet, and you're about to throw all these stats of averages, blah, 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 blah. And no one ever brings up all the times that LeBron failed, all the stains on his resume that obviously would keep him out of the top 5. And I'm going to start with that final playoff series when he was the first time around with the Cavaliers against Boston. I don't know what happened, but he froze up and he disappeared. And then the first finals with Joy's Heat, 2011, the chosen one became the frozen one. I've never seen a superstar shrink up that way on a big stage the way LeBron James did. And then I just mentioned the Ray Allen game. Down the stretch of that Game 6 at Miami, LeBron James turned it over 3 times, missed the tying 3, long rebound to Chris Bosh, kicked into the corner to Ray Allen, greatest clutch shot I've ever seen. Saved LeBron's legacy, because at that point he would have fallen to 1-3 in the finals, and he would be 2-5 now without that one shot. And he was great in the overtime and great in Game 7. And then, do I need to bring up what happened last year? LeBron James was terrible at home in a Game 4, and Draymond saved him by calling him the B word openly and audibly for all of press row to hear, which got back to the league, which contributed to Draymond getting suspended for Game 5 back in Oakland. Then Bogut gets hurt for Game 6 and 7, and that was a fortuitous development for LeBron James, and I think he was very lucky to win his 3rd ring against Golden State. I rest my case. I'm sorry, that's just too many negatives to be the positive of a top 5 player.
Would you like some of this?
No, I'm good.
That's a cup of wine, a little tin of cheese.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't drink wine, but thank you.
So you're done?
Offer. Yeah, I don't eat cheese either.
Are you done?
No, I'm out. I don't eat cheese.
No, I'm just
out.
saying, are you done? You done trying to put Bron down? Are you done
I'm
with
just
this?
trying to put him in perspective, and I think I just did.
Okay.
Good luck to you.
Okay. Now, he said top 5. If I was starting a team, this would be my team if I was starting a team. I want Kareem at the center. I want Magic at the point. I want Jordan at the 2. I want Bron at the 3. I want Duncan at the 4. But that's not what Doc said.
No.
Doc said he's a top 5 player.
Correct.
So my top 5, and I happen to agree with Doc, and if Doc were to, ask me, I'm sure mine would line up with his. I got Kareem, Magic, Jordan, Wilt, Bron.
Okay, so you left out
Larry Bird, absolutely.
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell, who's the greatest.
Out?
He's the greatest winner. There's a difference. Skip.
11 rings in 12 tries?
That's
5 MVPs?
Skip. He didn't even win Rookie of the Year on his own. He didn't even win Rookie of the Year. Tommy Heinsohn won that on his own team. Disqualified. So I'm done with that.
Maybe the media was down on Bill Russell.
See, you see what he did there?
I don't know about that. I think you just went into some deep water on that one.
I'll just say what happened.
Yeah.
All I know is what happened, Skip.
Yeah.
How it happened.
That was a long time ago, and I don't know if the media was ready for Bill Russell at that point.
In 1986, I was a senior in high school. Something happened that hadn't happened in 77 and 1/3 year. Haley's Comet. I saw it. So you could say something happened. It did happen. I saw it. You can't make me unsee.
You saw it. That made it official. You saw it. You were the only one who saw it.
Did it happen?
I don't know. I didn't even look. I don't care.
Oh, see, now you don't care.
I don't care.
But I got something you do care about. Skip, it's just funny.
Wait. So you put Wilt in. What's he got? 2 rings, and Bill Russell owned Wilt Chamberlain. He owned him. I mean, just took him apart.
I do it all the time.
You took Wilt above Bill Russell.
You see what I do? I walk him in the trap. See what I do? This is how I do it because I knew he was going to go there. This is what Bill Russell owned in Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt averaged 28 points, 28 rebounds.
His
Can I interest you in those numbers?
Beat him every time in the finals, head to head. It wasn't even close.
Okay, can I? So now let me get to my thing here. LeBron James. He's in his 14th season, Skip.
Really?
10. First team All-NBA.
That's spectacular.
5 All-Defensive. First team.
I did not know that.
25, 5-5. 12 seasons. Woo. 3 more than any other player. Did Jordan play in the NBA? Oh, okay. So he's not on this list. Okay, so you want to talk about all these greats. Let me tell you about, Magic had a good team back then. Let me see if you know any of these names. Okay, Magic Johnson's team when they won the title, he had a guy named Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Jamal Wilkes, James Worthy, Bob McAdoo. You know any of those guys? All of them were top 50.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I stopped it, Skip.
Magic made them all much better than they should have been.
Skip, I didn't
put them on other
Skip.
teams. They're just pretty good players.
Hold on, let me see. It's funny that you say that because before Magic got to the Lakers, Kareem was a 5-time MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so Magic made him. Okay.
Yeah, and wait, how many,
stop this, Skip.
how many rings?
Skip, I didn't interrupt you, Skip. I didn't interrupt you, Skip. I let you have your piece, let you have your say. Give me my say, Skip. That's all I ask. Bob McAdoo, he was an MVP. But Skip, I'm not talking about it. Okay, Larry Bird. You love you some Larry Bird. If you say you give me a 22-year-old LeBron James or a 22-year-old Larry Bird.
Yeah, I don't have him in my top 5, but I would take him. If I'm starting a team, I'll take Larry Bird over LeBron James.
Larry Bird's, they say the 85 team was one of the all-time great teams. Let me tell you who was on that team. Larry Bird was at the 3. Kevin McHale was at the 4. Robert Parrish was at the 5.
Pretty good
Dennis
players.
Johnson was at the point.
Pretty
and
good
they had
player.
a guy coming off the bench who was an MVP and already won a title in Bill Walton.
Well, he was a 6
Oh,
man.
stop it, Skip.
Well, he wasn't Bill
If you
Walton.
6 man, that means you come off the bench. I could have swore I said they had coming off the bench Bill Walton, who was an MVP and a Finals MVP. I could have swore I said that, Skip.
Yep.
But, sometimes I start talking fast. Okay. Oh, and the team, you know what you like to throw out? He liked to throw out, my San Antonio Spurs swept LeBron James in the Finals.
I didn't even bring that up because I thought that was a low blow, but they did by a record margin. They didn't sweep. It's been 5.
No.
Five.
I'm talking about
the first time. But the second time was in 5 games by record margin.
Hold on.
LeBron's team? Are you kidding me?
Skip. LeBron James started 5 when he lost to San Antonio. See if I interest you in any of these guys and see if you want to start your team with them. Drew Gooden. Ilgauskas.
Pretty good player.
Larry Hughes.
Not bad.
Sasha Pavlovic.
No comment.
So
You didn't say Boobie Gibson, who could really shoot.
Boobie Gibson.
Yeah.
Skip. I wrote something down. I was like, how can I get Skip? And Skip, because Skip's always talking about the clutch gene. He doesn't have that clutch gene.
I didn't bring up the first sweep in Cleveland. I didn't bring it up.
Okay.
I give him the pass on that one.
My good friend, me and Steve could become really good friends.
Steve Owens, Heisman Trophy winner. Yep.
We talk on the phone, and
Yeah.
I'm like, Steve, I said, I need something. I said, because Skip's going to throw out all these clutch, and he's not clutch. He said, well, Shannon, I got just the thing for you. And it says that in playoffs.
Now we're quoting Steve Owens on this show.
He said in the playoffs, game-winning shots.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan took 11. LeBron James is taking 10. Michael Jordan hit 5. LeBron James hit 6. They both have 3.
Yeah, you're giving him the layup.
Butter.
Against Washington.
Okay.
Yeah.
They both have 3 buzzer beaters. So that clutch gene, and you say you need to see it in the playoff when the stakes are at their highest.
Yep.
My guy, Braun,
Yeah, your guy, Braun,
matches him tit for tat.
He has disappeared in more big stage moments than any superstar ever. And even the staunchest LeBron defenders at ESPN would finally agree with me. He's the mentally weakest superstar we've ever seen. I'm sorry, disqualified from top 5 just on those flameouts.
Beat the 73-19. So let me ask you this: when the Lakers won 33 in a row and they were like 69 and whatever, did they lose in the finals? When the Bulls won 72 games, did they lose in the finals? LeBron James, he took his team the first time in how long did he play in the NBA? How long have you been playing basketball in the NBA?
I don't know. Ask Steve Owens.
Steve.
Call Steve. I don't know.
Since they've been playing basketball,
Yeah.
no team has ever come back from a 3-1 deficit. Not only did they come back, they came back having to win 2 games on the road.
With
and
no Draymond and no Bogut.
And LeBron called me. Well, he ain't talk. We follow each other on Twitter, and he DM'd me. He said, Shannon, give Skip the business tomorrow because I know y'all gonna talk about me because of what Doc said. Yeah. So I said, Bron, I got you. And you know what, Skip?
Yeah.
That man, when he's done, he gonna have like 3 now. I'm gonna say he has 5 at the bare minimum. He's gonna have 5 titles at the bare minimum. He'll be MVP in 4 of those. We're gonna let Kyrie get 1 because we want to get Kyrie to the Hall of Fame. So I don't feel bad like I'm just playing with 1 Hall of Famer in Cleveland. So we're gonna let Kyrie get 1 of them. Keep him involved. But Skip, you need to stop playing. You need to give this man his credit. This man is a top 5. If he says, you know what, Dan Gilbert, I went to bed last night and I thought about that letter you wrote. I'm done with you. I'm out. I ain't playing no more basketball. He's a top 5 player right now.
I just have one last question. last night, did you wear your LeBron jammies to bed? I just want to know.
You a hater.
Just
Do they
for
have
the
the
record.
footies on them?
I got LeBron. I got to get my jersey signed by LeBron.
No mercy. Our next guest has won pretty much every music award there is to win. He's one of only 6 rappers ever with a diamond album. Nelly, welcome to Undisputed. We're happy to have you here.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hey,
Hey,
so good to see you.
what's happening, Cat Daddy?
You know he tried to butter. You already know he tried to butter.
I ain't worried
hey.
about him. You know what I'm saying? Long time.
You got to understand, about 7, maybe 8 years ago on the old show I was on at ESPN, we decided to have this man on. First rapper ever to be on, maybe on ESPN, I don't know, but on our show for sure. And the people upstairs were on the edge of their seats because they were nervous because they were not sure what was going to come out of this man's mouth and if it would be worthy of being on a Disney-owned station or
Right.
network.
Yeah.
And you weren't just good, you were great.
Oh, thank you,
and you set a new tone for that show, and we hope to continue that tone right here, right now.
Yeah.
He's a better athlete than people would know.
Hey.
We played in a celebrity football game. You remember in Houston, the Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
And they said you got one play left. And Dan Marino was our quarterback. He said, who wants it? I said, let's see what Nelly got. Nelly was going up against Nick Lachey. Threw him a 50-yard.
that was a mismatch.
No, but he threw him no, it wasn't easy, Skip. He
Yeah.
threw him a 50-yard bomb. He laid out.
Yeah. One of my highlights is I got a chance to intercept Dan Marino.
Really?
I get to say that. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And I got a Grammy.
And
so
by-
who says that?
Warren Moon threw you that pass.
Warren Moon threw me the pass,
you
but
picked
one of
up
my
that.
highlights was picking
Let's
off
pick
Dan
up
Marino.
So Dan
Yeah.
Marino wasn't your quarterback.
No,
It was Warren.
Warren was our quarterback.
Yeah, we had the brother.
Intercepted Dan.
And by the way,
a
you
big deal.
played some baseball at a pretty high level, right?
Yeah. I was fortunate enough to do a little bit in St. Louis, played Slava, St. Louis Amateur Baseball Association, was in a few camps with the Pirates. I was also in a tryout camp with Ryan Howard. Me and Ryan Howard, he's also from St. Louis. You know, he's a good dude, you know. He's a little bit of troubles now, but, you know, he's still a great guy.
Awesome.
Way to go.
Well, thank you for being here. We're excited to have you.
Appreciate it.
And as we know, you're a big St. Louis Cardinals fan, but
Yes,
their
I am.
rivals, the Cubs, will try to extend the World Series tonight. Game 6 is back in Cleveland with the Indians attempting to close it out tonight on Fox. Nelly, we'll get your pick in a minute, but first, Skip, who do you like tonight?
I believe in this Cubs team. I believe this Cubs team will win tonight and tomorrow night and will win it all.
No.
Because I believe at Progressive Field, the pressure will lessen on the Chicago Cubs. I believe at Wrigley Field, especially in games 3 and 4, this team tried too hard to live up to the enormous expectations of their fans who have obviously waited 108 years for a world championship. And tonight, the Cubs get back their hottest hitter in Kyle Schwarber as they get to use the DH. And I got to say, I've never been the biggest Jake Arrieta fan, but in game 2, which was in Cleveland, Arrieta was really good. He went 5 2/3, 6 strikeouts, gave up just 2 hits, and they won that game 5-1. So he's got to feel pretty good about himself in this game. Now, they're up against tall order here because Josh Tomlin, Corey Kluber combined in the postseason 6-1 with a 1.18 ERA. Cleveland's 58-28 or was at home during the regular season. But remember, the Indians have historical pressure too, because it has been so long since any Cleveland team clinched a championship at home. Obviously, LeBron did it in Game 7 in Oakland. But you have to go back to 1964 to the NFL championship game, Browns versus Baltimore Colts, to find the last time they clinched at home. And in baseball, you have to go back to 1920 when Cleveland beat I didn't even know this team existed, the Brooklyn Robins. I never heard of the Brooklyn Robins. I thought they were the Dodgers, but they beat that's the last time baseball clinched in Cleveland at home. Right. So you can't tell me that the pressure won't just ratchet up tonight on the home team. And I think the Cubs can finally heave a sigh of relief and just play free swinging baseball. And I think they will be able to score off Josh Tomlin, and Arrieta will come up big tonight.
Listen, I'm literally two-faced on this topic here because as a baseball fan, I think it's over. I think it's over tonight. Me personally, I think it's over tonight. I think Cleveland is just a way better team.
Are you hoping that because you're a Cards fan?
Yeah.
Now that's the other side. Now the other side is me being a Cardinals fan. How could I ever root for the Cubs?
Right.
They say it's a rivalry. I don't really think it's a rivalry until the other team is actually a winner. Right. Now, that's what makes it kind of tough. You know what I'm saying? Now, part of me wants the Cubs to win only to make our rivalry a little bit better and a little bit more meaningful because, you know, going through those years, I mean, the Cardinals, the Yankees are the only team with more rings than us as far as baseball history. So I don't see that. But I also see the Cubs as being that team that was just so excited to get there. I think they exuded so much energy. I think the crowd was so happy. I think that city was just so happy that they feel like they've gotten there. And you're right, Cleveland has a history, but I think it's a history of that city not winning the championship. And again, with Cleveland already winning that championship, I think they're in a position now where if there is a city momentum, if there is a momentum for the energy of the city, I think it's riding with Cleveland. The Cubs, I mean, you know, they've won championships in other sports before, so it's not like that. It's just basically a baseball thing. And as a baseball fan and as a Cardinal fan, I just know they're going to blow it. I know they're going to blow it. There's no talk. I know they're going to blow it.
Because you grew up thinking they were going to blow it,
I know they're going to blow it. I know they're going to blow it. I know they're going to blow it with all my heart. And the only thing that does scare me is like what you said with Scherzer. They get that man back, and if it was me, I would have played him in Cleveland. But I get it because they figure. In Chicago,
just playing.
I would have played. I would have played him anywhere. I would have played him at first base. I would have played him anywhere because you just don't take a bat like that out of the lineup. And I get you can always let in more runs than you can get, but I don't think you take that guy out for nothing in the world.
Well, you mentioned Arrieta. He's going to have to give him 7 innings. They can't make this a bullpen game.
Right.
If the Indians get to the 5th, the top of the 6th, and they have the lead, and they trot Andrew Miller out there, I agree, it's over because they go Andrew Miller, Cody Allen.
Right, it's a wrap.
It's
Although,
over.
you know what, the Cubs have had some moments against Andrew Miller where they've made some
They got
contact.
no base, but they can't come across the plate, and that's what matters. And he's electric. And I think it's in their mind that they can't hit this young man. If Arrieta can give them 7 and keep it out of the bullpen for the Indians, I like the Cubs. And if they get to a game 7, Cubs are going to win it. Because think you had a 3-1 lead.
Right.
We saw what happened with Golden State. You saw what Bron did. Hey, look, you're Bron.
Oh, get out of here. Look at that.
So,
no, I definitely think Cleveland going to get on them early.
On your
I think Cleveland's going to jump on them early. I think the first 3 innings, I think it's going to set the tone. I think the first 3 innings out the gate, I think Cleveland's going to come out the gate. I think they're going to jump out to an early lead, and then that pressure and just that ghost of the Cubs and all of that. Because I mean, unless you're going to roll big boy out there for 5 innings,
Chapman.
Unless you're going to roll big boy out there for 5 innings,
He might have to start Game 7.
I mean,
no, but Arrieta, he has to give him at least. He has to give him the bare minimum.
He has
7,
to
because the bullpen it's not even a fair fight. Indians got a bullpen because Miller can give you 5, and then they go to Allen if he needs to.
So, Nelly, you're scheduled to be on with us the next 3 days. So what if the ghosts of Cleveland haunt the Indians, and what if the Cubs win 2 straight games and you have to come back the 3rd day and sit in that chair and pay homage to the Chicago Cubs, world champs?
Well, again, the side that is the Cardinal side, that is the blood that flows through my veins. You know what I'm saying? Understand that is a sense of it's going to be that much better when we beat them next year. You see what I'm saying?
So you want to be the World Series champ?
We're going to be, yeah, of course. I mean, we are a traditional organization. We are baseball. You know what I'm saying? When you talk baseball, you talk the Yankees, you talk the Cardinals, and everybody else falls somewhere in between that. You know what I'm saying? And we will be back. There's no question about it, and it's not about the highest paid free agents or nothing like that. It's just about tradition. And again, listen, they're going to choke. There's nothing to talk about. What happens if they do choke and I come back here?
Well, you get the glow.
You get the glow.
You can go.
I told you so.
I get the glow?
Tomorrow, yeah.
Okay, all right.
So you are predicting they lose tonight. They choke tonight.
I predict they lose tonight. I think it's over. I think it's going to be over early. I'm telling you, I don't think it's going to be close. I think Cleveland's going to jump out, and by the time the 5th inning comes, you may be changing the channel.
No mercy. Doc Rivers talked about LeBron James' legacy and said LeBron is without a doubt one of the top 5 players ever. Doc added LeBron has a different game. We're so used to seeing skill looking graceful. We're not used to seeing skill look so powerful. I think that rubs people wrong. But LeBron, statistically, championship-wise, he's one of the top 5 players to ever play the game. Nelly is still with us.
Yeah.
Doc, right?
You know what? First of all, who am I to question Doc Rivers? He knows more basketball than I've ever played. Okay, but saying that, I think it's definitely debatable. I think he can be. I think he is, but I think he still has a chance to solidify it. The thing about it is, he's probably going to be here for another 5 years. Yeah, I think he's going to be around for another 5 years, and I think if he finished what he's been doing, definitely if he goes back to back this year, it shouldn't be any type of discussion. If he goes back to back this year, I don't think it should be any type of discussion. I think he is. I think he is.
Is he or isn't he?
I think he is.
Okay.
I think he is.
So Nelly says he is.
I definitely think he is.
What say you, Shannon?
Are you kidding me?
You already, Skip, stop there. You already know what I think. Since you put it out there,
I think he is.
He goes back to back. I'm ready to put him on top of the mountain.
Huh?
On top of the mountain.
See, now I'm going to leave. You can't, no.
Thank you.
Think about this now. He just went through a 73-9 team with two-time MVP.
I feel you.
If he beats this team with Kevin Durant, Steph Curry.
I don't think they making it, first and foremost.
I wanted to make it because I wanted to run through this team again.
I don't think they're going to get through these Spurs. That's just me. That's just me.
Now you're talking.
Let me tell you what he did.
I think while everybody's talking about Golden State and everybody's talking about Cleveland, the Spurs look vicious. The Spurs look
coming out of
vicious.
the East.
Hey.
Well, yeah.
Wait a second.
We'll
Kawhi
see.
Leonard has taken it up a level this year. This is a new guy.
I think
Kawhi.
it's just a new team. It just looks more youthful. Spurs look more youthful and more energetic. I like the Simmons guy. I like, you know what I'm saying? I like the Simmons guy. I like everything that they're doing. I like the hometown guy, David Lee. I like his position.
You know what?
I think once he puts his energy into that team and becomes, I think.
Hold on. We ain't talking about teams.
I'm with
if
you.
LeBron James top
I said yes. Wait. We still talking about that? That should be already.
What he's talking about.
That should be
You
already.
just want him to talk about the Spurs.
No.
If you're a top 5 player.
Because
Yes,
if
he is.
I said this
Yes,
in my
he is.
prediction. I said this, Joy Taylor. If my Spurs somehow make it through the West and get to LeBron James, Pop will beat LeBron the way he always beats LeBron. He owns LeBron.
Like the first time they played?
Yeah.
In Miami? He beat him like that?
With Ray Allen. Is that what
You see
you're
what he always try to do?
you
see what he always try to do?
Listen, he knows better than that. Every great player has got their shooter. Every great player has had their sharpshooter. Every great player has had their sharpshooter.
Steve Kerr, John Paxson.
Robert Horry has bailed a lot of people out.
You know what? Ray Allen wasn't just some designated.
Robert Horry has bailed a lot of people
you know
out.
What? Ray Allen could play basketball on any level. Ray Allen is a Hall of Fame shooter. He's not just some three-point specialist.
Has Robert
So don't
Horry
give
not
me that.
bailed out the Spurs a few times?
He bailed out the Lakers.
He bailed out the Spurs.
Okay,
Say
back-
Spurs.
Okay, he don't want to say that. Okay, it's all good. Go ahead.
Detroit.
I don't remember that.
Go ahead.
Say he bailed out the Spurs.
You know who
against
bailed him
Detroit.
out? Ginobili bailed him out in that series.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, can we get back to the question?
Yes,
Top
I'm yes.
5. It's about to get hot in here.
Oh, my goodness.
Here we go.
You cooled us all off for that.
You know?
You cooled us all. Come on, man.
Okay, here's my top 5, and it's irrefutable and not debatable.
We'll see.
It is.
We'll see. We'll see.
And I
Come
can't
on.
believe I'm going to save this for later, but
We all agree with number one.
all I have to say is Michael Jordan, and
That's
this man dared to venture out onto the limb saying that if LeBron wins this championship this year, he's going to replace Michael Jordan as the greatest ever, the GOAT. Are you kidding me? That's ludicrous, but I'm going to let it go.
Yeah, we're gonna
Number
let it
2, Magic Johnson, enough said. What else do I have to say? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, number 3. He won 6 rings with 6 MVPs. What's LeBron now, 3 and 4 in the finals? Stop it. Bill Russell, 11 rings in 12 tries with 5 MVPs. I'm sorry, that's a top 5 player to me. And my man, Tim Duncan, won 5 rings with only 1 finals loss thanks to Ray Allen. After LeBron James down the stretch turned it over 3 times in the last 3 minutes, missed the tying 3, long rebound, Chris Bosh, boom, into the corner to Ray Allen. Money. Over. And that was the end of my Spurs as we knew them in 2013. And LeBron was great in overtime, and he was great in Game 7 because my Spurs were mentally shot through the heart by Ray Allen.
Hold up. But you said LeBron was the weakest mentally superstar ever, but your Spurs team was fragile in game. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, when you have the game won, and Ray Allen makes the greatest clutch shot I have ever seen, that includes all the Michael Jordan shots.
Why do you keep going to Ray Allen? Like,
Like
he's on the team. Like he's not supposed to shoot the ball when he get it.
It's
He
impossible.
did his job.
My Spurs were up like 5
he
with
did his
28
job.
seconds left.
He
you know,
did it.
You got to close that deal. And by the way, Kawhi Leonard, a baby at that point, missed a big free throw. Ginobili, I'm first to tell you, missed a big free throw.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Ginobili's clutch though.
Now,
The thing about your list, and I don't mean to cut you off. The thing about your list, if you look at Magic and Kareem, they're on the same team. So you're taking
They
two
weren't
people.
always on the same
But you're
team.
taking two people. Well, one championship, Milwaukee by itself. Him and
Oscar Robertson, Bobby Danrich.
Okay, but if you look at the rest of those players, they possibly played on some of the greatest teams of all time.
Okay.
Are you saying that LeBron has played on any of those greatest teams of all time? Because I don't think any of his teams have been the greatest teams of all time.
Okay.
I mean, and I know some of his losses were early in his career, which we should really, almost give a pass
LeBron
to because
James joined forces with one of the greatest winners in NBA history,
Okay.
Dwayne Wade, along with Chris Bosh.
Okay.
You don't think he had firepower on that team?
No,
Were they
I
not
said-
the prohibitive favorite?
I said, are they part of the greatest teams of all time? Would you put that team up as one of the greatest
No.
teams of all time?
Okay, but
because if you look at this Magic and Kareem team, if you look at Showtime Lakers, obviously they're one of the greatest teams of all time. You look at Bill Russell and
James
all.
Worthy.
Exactly. James
Bob-
Worthy,
wait,
Byron
wait a
Scott.
second.
Jamal Wilkes.
was Kareem Abdul, is he not the greatest scorer in NBA history?
Yes, he is.
Okay, thank you very much.
Did he play with the greatest assist guy in NBA history?
For a while he did.
He
For a while
had he
did.
had 5 of those MVPs ever before he
So
linked
wait,
up
are
with
you
Magic
saying
Johnson.
that Kareem is overrated?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
See,
Who said that?
That's both of you.
Who said that? No,
Both
don't
of
put
you.
words in my mouth now.
You tried to
Don't
undervalue
put words in my
LeBron.
mouth now.
Undervalue
You tried to
LeBron?
undervalue LeBron.
Okay,
You tried
after
to.
he crawled all the way to
See?
South Beach to
See?
say,
See what he
please
did?
No, he
show
didn't.
me how to win a ring.
One thing about it, he didn't crawl. He might have took a Benz or a Maybach, but he never crawled.
No.
Yeah.
But the thing,
Effectively, he crawled.
did right. I mean, if you
Yeah.
look at some of those Jordan teams, you look at possibly playing with the
Okay.
best rebounder
Okay.
of all time.
Here's
Which
what
don't
I
let me
need.
get sacrilegious on this because you know how much of a Michael Jordan is God in my house. So
Everybody,
you know what I'm
everybody
saying?
And on your
you know what I'm
feet,
saying?
right?
Yeah, of course. So to me, he's not even in discussion. It's just about the next 4. The next 4 is arguably. And
Okay.
when you go to Magic, I don't think Magic is arguably. I definitely put Magic in there. Kareem. And the problem is, some of those players, I wasn't around to see them play.
Right.
Okay.
So right now, LeBron is in my moment. I get the chance to see that. I got a chance to see
Okay,
Magic.
so
I got a
you
chance to
you
see
have
Jordan.
carefully watched LeBron's career.
Yes,
you
I
know
have.
LeBron personally.
Yes, I have.
I respect that.
Yes, I do. What up, LeBron?
All the rappers, they have
LeBron,
to
yeah.
they have to ingratiate themselves with LeBron, and vice versa, and I respect that.
Yeah,
It's
he gotta know the
It's
king.
okay. It's okay. You're a little disqualified on your objectivity.
I know
but
you
it's
were there
okay.
when Bill
All right.
Russell run.
So all I ever hear is what LeBron does, but nobody wants to bring up what he didn't do, where he miserably failed. May I count the ways?
What?
You've watched
His
closely.
third year in the league, he failed. The third year in the league, he
just a second.
failed.
Last year in Cleveland against Boston, second round of the playoffs, it was, where did LeBron go? He disappeared. His entourage had to put out the story that he was medicated.
Wait a
He had
minute,
to
wait a
be-
minute. Who was all on that Cleveland team when he played? Quick.
Doesn't
quick.
matter.
It
doesn't
does.
matter. No, it doesn't
It
matter.
does. That's my
They're
point.
up in the series 2
It
games to 1. He
does
destroyed
matter.
Boston on Friday
It-
night and
come
then
on,
the last
Skip.
3 games he disappeared.
You
he
know
froze
best.
up.
Why does
So,
LeBron have
wait.
to carry a whole
Okay.
team and nobody
Okay,
else has to
so
carry a whole team?
let's fast forward to the super team in Miami. Prohibitive favorites in the finals, up 2 games to 1 against Dallas in Dallas. And what happens? The chosen one becomes the frozen one.
I give you that. The Dallas series is the only blemish on his record that I can honestly say, you kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Did
you
Michael
kinda-
Jordan
you
ever
kinda-
do that?
No,
Did he ever do
quit
that?
saying that name.
No.
Let's stop saying
Okay,
that name.
why not?
Let's stop saying that name.
He said it.
I'll let you. Hold on. Wait
Come
a
on,
minute.
go
Wait
ahead,
a
go
minute.
ahead.
Wait a minute.
But
Wait a
stop
minute.
saying that Jordan name around here.
Michael Jordan,
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey
There you
Jordan.
go.
When he was in the league
Mm-hmm.
and the Celtics, the Lakers, and the Pistons were in their prime,
Mm-hmm.
how many times did Michael Jeffrey Jordan beat the Celtics in their prime? How many times did he beat the Pistons in their prime?
With
the
who?
Lakers in their prime.
With who?
That's my point.
With who, though?
That's my point.
I give it to you.
That's my point.
With an overrated
But
Scottie
it wasn't
Pippen?
him. But it wasn't him because he was dropping 63 on the Celtics.
Thank you.
Hey, what happened in that game? Got swept. Michael Jordan dropped 63 points, the most points ever scored in NBA playoff history, and his team got
He
swept.
had no help.
No help. I give
No
you that.
help.
I give you that.
Hold on. So it's okay for Michael Jordan to have no
No,
help.
I
but
agree
Bron.
with LeBron. I agree the same thing with LeBron. Like I said again, that third year when LeBron went up against the Pistons.
The Pistons were so afraid of Michael Jordan that Sam Smith eventually wrote a
Okay,
book about the
me tell you
Jordan
something.
rules.
In order
the
to be
Jordan
great-
rules,
and-
you needed rules to stop Michael
In
Jordan.
order to be great, it feels like you got to go through the Pistons at one point in your career. It just feels like in the East, in the East,
and
That time that
you
LeBron
in the East,
scored 28 or 29.
in the East.
You remember that?
Yeah, listen.
Scored 25.
I'm with you, but my thing is the rest of those names that you're saying. And again, I would never disrespect Kareem. I would never disrespect the great Bill Russell. I'm not gonna argue with you about that. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't there to actually physically watch them play. But when you run down the numbers and you look at those teams that they had, I mean. Come on, man. Bob Cousy, you playing with
Tommy Heinsohn,
come
Sam
on,
Jones,
you-
Casey Jones, John
I-
Havlicek, Red Auburn. Stop me. I don't want to listen to
I mean,
names.
I don't know,
'Cause this
but-
computer going, Skip.
Yeah.
I mean-
so if you're going to
Bird,
start a
Cale,
team,
Parrish.
start a team tomorrow with a 22-year-old LeBron or 22-year-old Larry Bird, you're going to start with.
LeBron
LeBron
James.
James.
Oh, it's not even close.
LeBron James.
No mercy. Colin Kaepernick hosted a Know Your Rights camp for underprivileged kids in the Bay Area on Saturday. Kaepernick said he talked to the kids about police brutality and what to do about it. Cap continues to protest by kneeling during the national anthem. We're joined once again by Nelly. Nelly, what is your opinion of Kaepernick's protests?
Well, for the one thing, I think what he's doing is totally within his right. For another thing, of course, I applaud whatever his revelation is for making him take this stance because it is a serious issue, and I'm with him. You know, you hear a lot of people now, and I've heard a lot of people who I admire, who I call friends, and I won't say no names, but they've said they wonder if he would take this stance if he had been starting. And my thing on that is like, if you look at any type of movement that has been set all throughout all throughout history, when Rosa Parks didn't get up, she was tired. Now, had she not been tired, maybe she would have got up. Right. Maybe she would have went to the back. Maybe it hadn't started then. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter when it starts or how it starts. Or why it starts. The thing is that it's here. And I use the Rosa Parks reference because you see some people I'll just say black, you see some black people saying, well, maybe he shouldn't be doing this. You see some whites that say he shouldn't be doing this. You see some whites that say he should be doing this. This is great. You see some blacks that say he should be doing this. My thing is, if you look at the Rosa Parks scenario, that bus was packed. Now, it was brothers and sisters on that bus. Some may have felt, yo, just get up, go to the back, I'm late for work. They're not looking at the significance of what she's doing at that time. Right. But one thing they're saying is that, yo, I don't want to lose my job. I'm running late. Could you just go back? You know the rules. And there's some brothers and sisters that's on that bus like, no, I'm tired of this as well. Now, it was some white folks on that bus saying, yo, she knows the rules. Just get up. And there was some that saying, why did you make that lady get up? She's tired. You see, it doesn't matter when it starts and the scenario around it. It's the focus of it. It's where is it going to lead? And for someone like Colin Kaepernick to jeopardize everything that he's worked for up to this point, to say, yo, you know what? I don't know what my calling is in life, and it may not be football. We don't know what his calling is in life at this point. You know what I'm saying? Malcolm X didn't know what his calling was until he was called. We don't know what his calling is, and we don't know if he's being called right now. And if he is being called right now, then, you know, it remains to be seen. But I think the brother's genuine. I'm definitely in his corner. I know Colin. I've met him a few times. I think he's a dope cat. And I think we don't know the real Colin Kaepernick yet. I don't think we know the real Colin Kaepernick yet because I think he's finding himself.
No, you go.
The largest forest fire starts with a spark.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Colin Kaepernick with this police brutality was the spark that our society needed. See, everybody says, well, he's not Dr. King or he's not Rosa Parks. But you're looking at these iconic figures in today's terms.
50 years later.
Very few people thought or held these people in high regards at the time they were doing what they were doing as opposed to now. Now history looks back favorably upon Dr. King, upon Miss Parks. My concern is, okay, when Dr. King was assassinated, You had Dr. Joseph Lowry. You had John Lewis. You had Andrew Young, Andy Young. You had so many people to pick the ball up and to continue to run with it. My question to you, what happens if he's not on the team in 2017? Do the protests continue or will it just die?
Oh, well, you would hope that he's sparking another mind that's probably elevating where his is at this time. You know, where somebody can pick up from his energy, where somebody can pick up from the lessons that he learned and, you know, build on it and not make the same mistakes in the sense of hurting the protests. You know, I don't understand how he's hurting the protests. I would never feel that way. But in a sense, he has to have a plan on where this is going, where he's going to continue, and also be aware of what may stop him. I think if he's more conscious about his hurdles right now, I don't think there's anything that can stop him from being what he wants to be. Because again, football is a game. That kneel is about life. And I think that's the thing that people need to understand. Him kneeling is about life. Him standing at the beginning of the game is about football. It's about his patriot. And again, don't get it twisted, because I support our troops. I support the men and women that serve this country. You know, I just got back from, you know, entertaining our troops. I always go to entertain our troops. I do my part in going to help those. Because why? Because I'm a military brat myself. You know, I was born on the military base down in Austin. And things of that nature. So I get it. My father was in the Air Force. My uncle was in the military. Both my uncles was in the military. So I get where that is, and I understand that value. But I don't think we know the logistics of where this is going. But I also will agree that he's being honest about it.
To both your points, and I say this with all respect, I sometimes forget that Colin Kaepernick plays football.
Right.
That's how big a deal he's become. What he did the first time, I believe, will be looked back upon, to your point of how history will treat it, as a watershed moment in the racial growth of this country. That he had the courage to kneel. Whether you liked it or not, we can go on and on about that. It worked. It had national, if not international, impact. It made people stop and think and talk. Now, what the upshot, the solutions, whatever come from it, I don't know. But it made this country stop and look hard at a growing situation that was horrifying to the black community and should have been horrifying to the white community or any color community. And it was because he had the courage to do that. I don't know if he thought of it as a courageous act. He just decided to do it. I don't know if he could process the ramifications of what he was about to do. I believe he got called in that moment, whether he knew it or not, and I believe he will continue to get called. Now, I hope he can bear up under the responsibility of this, because it's a huge responsibility, because he has become the face of this movement and really the voice of this movement in a lot of ways, which is a lot to ask a very young man who doesn't have that much worldly experience yet outside the game of football, right?
Well, you know, Nelly, one of the problems that I have is that when people question why he did it, well, he's trying to, you know, he's unpopular in his own locker room, and he's trying to get Facebook likes and Twitter mentions and all this thing. and one of my favorite quotes is when Muhammad Ali said, "If a man sees himself today as he saw himself 5 years, 10, 15 years ago, he's wasted that much time of his life." Why can't Colin Kaepernick have a growth? Why can't he have a realization that says, you know what? I love what America has given me. It's given me and afforded me opportunities
to work hard.
But everybody are not afforded those opportunities.
Exactly.
Why can't, if the flag is representation of what America is supposed to be, it's supposed to be that for everyone, not just a fortunate few. And Colin Kaepernick, and look, well, you're more likely to be struck by, I get it. Just because something is more likely to happen, that doesn't mean that when it occurs, it should happen. That's what he's trying to speak out against. And some have taken what he's trying to do in a total different direction because they're trying to do the misdirection. It's about the flag. It's about, you know, he's being disrespectful of the military. He sat down, and it's happenstance because if you notice, the first time the camera panned on him, it had a still shot. he was sitting down.
Right.
Had the cameras not panned on him, we would have never known.
Never known.
See, that's what he did to get your attention, because I need to do something that'll make you ask me a question. Why weren't you standing? Because before the national anthem, they always ask you, please stand, please rise, and remove your hat for the singing of our national anthem.
Right.
Where he's sitting. He knew it would, if one person, he knew they would ask. Now when they ask him, why were you sitting for the national anthem? Well, this is why I'm protesting the way our black unarmed men are treated in our society. So that's what it was. But for people to try to take pot shot, well, he's a backup quarterback. What was Rosa Parks was a seamstress.
Right.
What you do, how much money you make should not have any more bearing on how significant the calling is or what you're standing for should be.
It doesn't matter when right comes. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter when right comes. If it's right, it's right.
Right.
It doesn't matter how right
it's
came.
It's never too late to do the right thing.
Why right came. It's right. And I think people are taking what's right and the message and they're looking at it. Again, the only reason the NFL is paying tribute to the military is because they're being paid to.
They were.
So that, in a nutshell, from itself is saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, where is the sincerity in that? Where is the sincerity in the NFL showing all this patriotism? I mean, I don't know anybody that wouldn't show patriotism if they're getting paid to.
Right.
I don't know anybody that wouldn't stand or wouldn't.
The NFL is patriotic in and of itself.
No, I feel you. I feel you. But what I'm saying is that who would really make this much of a to-do for volunteer, for people just volunteering to stand up? Because if that's the case, every time we walk around this planet, every time you walk around anywhere and you hear the Star Spangled Banner, you should stop. Everybody in this country should stop. Stop what they're doing and stand there and find the flag. Everybody, you know what I'm saying?
Only the people in the stadium stand for the national anthem, because when you're at home and they're singing the national anthem, you're not standing.
You're not standing.
You're sitting down and you're going to the bathroom.
You're talking,
right,
you're doing everything. And people in the stadium are. You see concession stand workers. You see people in the press box. They're still talking.
Yes.
You see people all over the place. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? You basically are watching those on the field.
No mercy. Russell Westbrook already has 2 triple-doubles in the Thunder's first 3 games. He was 1 assist away from one on opening night and having a triple-double in every single game. Right now, Westbrook is averaging nearly 39, 12, and 12. We're joined by our NBA analyst, Chris Broussard.
Well,
Chris, will he average a triple-double this season?
We're only 3 games in. He's clearly the MVP so far.
Yeah.
I know it's 3 games, but he is on that pace, obviously, to become the MVP. If he does average a triple-double, I don't think he'll have to win 50 games to be MVP. He would be the MVP with 46 wins, whatever, 45 wins. I'm going to say no, because I can't imagine anybody averaging a triple-double in today's NBA, especially a guy that's 6'2", 6'3".
Yes.
So I'm going to say no. I love the way he's playing. I love that he's being efficient for him, 45% shooting. He's a career 43% shooter, so that's good. He's hitting 44% of his threes. He's career 30% from 3. I don't know if that can continue, but that's phenomenal. Yeah, I'd be surprised, but I don't know if he just worked on that over the offseason or what. This is, I give him a shot. I give him more of a shot than any other player in the league to average a triple-double, and here's why. The rebounds you would think would be the challenge.
Yes.
They don't have another great rebounder. Steven Adams is, pretty good. He'll give you 8 or 9. Enes Kanter only plays half the game because he comes off the bench. Last year, remember, Kevin Durant led them in rebounding, and they were the best rebounding team as a whole in the league. So I think the rebounds will be there for Westbrook to get, but I cannot say that this guy's going to average a triple-double. What I do think, though, I think he may have a better chance at becoming the first player since Nate Archibald to lead the league in scoring and assists. I think he could do that, and I give James Harden a slight chance to do that as well. I'm going to say no, though, on the triple-double.
Go ahead.
I predicted before the year he would average a triple-double. As I watch them, they haven't played anybody yet, and they're about to go back-to-back against Clippers-Warriors. Then we'll see a little bit more. But at whatever you're going to call him, 6'2" or 6'3", my only fear factor for Russell Westbrook is, can he take the punishment that will be required, the physical punishment, to continue to attack the basket and rebound the basketball. And it's not like he's got a really good body, but it's not like he's cut up like LeBron is or something. He's not that guy. He's still pretty slender to me, even though he's got broad shoulders. He takes a lot of punishment on almost every trip down the floor, but he will attack the glass, offensive or defensive rebounds, loose ball rebounds. My goodness. He will go after all of them, and he will give up his body constantly. And it's the Allen Iverson syndrome. He was only like 5'11", but how much of those shots can you take before it wears you down? If he has that kind of freakish body that can maintain this pace, I just think he's got a green enough light and enough nightly energy. I think he can do it.
I don't think he will, and I'm going to agree with you, Chris, because last year was as high. He averaged 7.8 rebounds a game, and the year before he averaged 7.3. He's putting up 28 shots. That's a lot of effort. It takes a lot to put up that many shots every night, because now he was putting up 18 with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was getting 20 shots a night. He's going to get half of those, so that's 28. He's going to probably shoot the ball at least that many times per night. When he had that 50-point triple-double, he shot the ball 44 times. He shot the ball more than the other 4 guys that started alongside him. He only shot the ball 8 times less than the entire team. So it's going to take a lot of effort for him every night just for them to be in the ball game. And so for him to try to do this over the course of 82 games, I don't think there's a shot. I say there's always a chance, but I give him a less than 5% chance that he can average a triple-double. But I do believe that he'll probably lead the league in scoring and rebounding, and he'll come somewhere between
assists.
Scoring and assists.
Right.
And he'll be somewhere around 7, 8. But I just can't see with the effort that it's going to take for him every night to get up that many shots and to play that, because he only knows one way. He can't coach.
That's the thing.
If you see Bron's like, hey, I'm taking it easy until I get to April, May. Westbrook got one speed. That's full speed ahead. I don't see how he gets it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Can he keep up that pace? Because he's going to play that way. No question about it. I'm with you. I mean, the average of triple-double. Look, the 28 shots, I don't have a problem with that. I don't think he'll stay on that pace because he only took 21 in each of those other 2 games. It was the 44 that really got him up to 28. But this team, if they need him to take that many, as long as they're winning, I'm cool with it. It's kind of like an early Michael Jordan before Pippen came into his own. Jordan averaged 27 shots a game one year, averaged 37 points that year. But I'm surprised you think, today's NBA, a triple-double, a guard, that'd be phenomenal if he did that.
We are talking about Russell Westbrook, though. He plays with that speed. Yep. No mercy. This is the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast, where we're delivering you an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the biggest topics of the day's show. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, like us on Facebook at Undisputed on FS1, follow on Twitter at Undisputed, and catch us at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, Monday through Friday on FS1. You can find us on channel 219 on DirecTV, 150 on Dish. Thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow when we're joined by Ray Lewis and Nelly once again. We'll see you on Wednesday.